Hi, I'm Jess. And
I'm Sarah.
And I'm interviewing my mom. Okay, so we're going to look at our political cartoons first. And so we're starting with week 5. Mom, what do you think about this political cartoon, the interpretation of it? What are the key points in the picture?
Well, I think it's very apt, especially as the anniversary of Newtown has passed this past weekend, and it's good. I mean, you've got all the states on the roulette wheel, and until they reform.
What is it symbolizing?
It's saying that unless gun reform happens, this could happen anywhere. It is just. It's not by luck that it hasn't happened in California or anything. It's just it's not by careful planning it hasn't happened in certain states. It's just chance. It could happen anywhere. So no, it's not. It's good actually. It's one of my favourite ones you've showed me so far, Jessica.
Even better than the rats.
Yeah, better than the rats.
Okay, so on to week 6. And Alex just walked through some chocolate. What do you think about week 6?
I think it's very apt, especially as new figures have just come out and said that 1% of the population now own 50% of all the shares. Corporations own the other 49%. So just rich people, why do they just... I mean, people on food stamps are not living a luxurious life, and they're living their high life. Most people are working 2 jobs, and still having to claim food stamps. So to actually slash food stamps, I think it's just more hate on a class of people that it's just unacceptable and not fair.
Okay, so that was a nice interpretation. Do you see any key points that are drawn in this picture that you think really emphasize it?
No, it just shows that the rich benefit constantly from tax laws, tax loopholes, write-offs and things like that, whereas people at the bottom of the salary scale can't catch a break. It's not.
Okay, so week 7, I like this one. What do you think about this cartoon, and what are the key points you need to know to understand this?
Well, it's obviously just saying that
this was before Thanksgiving, November 15th, so just taking into the date. It was a month ago.
I don't know. Coming from Europe, where we don't have Thanksgiving, that Christmas starts. You start seeing Christmas packaging and stuff and songs sort of middle of September. So in some ways it's Christmas starting later in America is good. I really enjoy it, but I do find it quite funny, and it is creeping earlier and earlier, even in America. So,
like with the Mary still pregnant with Jesus.
Yes, I completely understand the cartoon, Jeff.
Okay,
I like me not being a divvy.
Too soon. Okay, now on to week 8. We saw the Hunger Games. What did you think of it?
Well, the movie?
And then to the cartoon.
Movie was good. It was a little long. Not as long as The Hobbit today, but anyway, yes, this is just, again, it's just a play on words. Yes, the Hunger Games, great, people queuing, but again, people at the bottom end of the scale are just not getting the help they need, because God forbid anybody has a place to sleep. Did you know, Jessica? I read an article this week.
Jessica.
There are 22,000 children homeless in New York.
There's like 35,000 women and kids homeless in San Francisco. Like that, doing community service yesterday. Wrapping presents. How long is the video? Okay, we still have longer. We'll go look at current events now for week 5. This was on robots or aliens as parents. Oh, and this was on college applications and what questions they asked, and how one college, which college was it? Chicago, has had some previous questions as, so where's Waldo, really? And what does Plato have to do with Plato? If you got a question...
It's not Plato, it's Plato.
Plato.
He's a philosopher, darling.
I know that. But if you got given one of those questions, how would you answer it to get into college?
Well, in some ways you've taken it out of context here. I mean, it would be in a series of questions, so you could actually see. Like just seeing how you know, just being book smart and being able to answer.
Do you think
My SAT is. They're trying to find, in some ways, a bit about you by asking a different question, a question that's not quite in the box. And so, I think these are good questions. And yes, I would answer them. And I don't think there is a wrong answer for these questions.
Okay.
So they want individuals at their college. In fact, that will be a college I go to that college.
Chicago.
It's because they're asking interesting questions. They don't just want a robot.
Okay. Week 7. And this was on, we don't need to talk about that one because I don't really know that one too well, but this one was on, women's rights, sort of with Bodie Miller, the famous skier, and a custody battle over his child with Sarah A. McKenna, who he saw for some time, and then told her he wanted nothing to do with her, and the baby. But then when she went to Columbia, she enrolled later after she'd been abroad before, and then charged her with trying to take away the baby and go for an easier court in New York because him and his new girlfriend decided they wanted the baby to shared custody. So what do you think of this article of Mr. Miller?
I think this happens quite a lot in the world, and maybe this is only just because this is Bodie Miller, the famous skier, that this is actually in the media. I think there are two sides to every story, and I think people are never completely honest with courts, with themselves, with anybody about what's actually at here. And it's not for me to sit in judgment. I'm not a judge. Everybody, unless I knew absolutely every detail, I'm not going to sit here and say.
Do you think the women should have a stronger right over the baby over the men? If the women really want the baby and the men, then they get divorced. Do you think the women should have a stronger role in the relationship as they carried the baby, so they feel more of a connection with it?
Yeah, I think that women as a whole, and this is not sexist. I just think, it's important for the kids to be with their mom.
So over this issue.
But this particular case, I'm not going to comment on this case because I don't know. You only hear it's all a bit hearsay and a bit gossipy, and I'm not one for gossip. Thanks very much.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing this interview with me, Mom.
Chin.
Thank you for doing an interview with me.
It's a tumour.
Okay. Goodbye.